Thanks to Screwfix.ie, championing the trade with a dedicated call centre.
This is News Talk.
So exciting times, listeners. We've got ourselves a Premier League weekend to reflect on. Pat Nevin is going to join us on the football show. It's Dublin Tyrone in the All-Ireland football final. Brian McGuigan and James Horan with us. We'll also hear from the rather brilliant Jack McCaffrey and Brooks Koepka. He saw off Tiger Woods' final round 64, lowest ever round from Woods at a major, amazingly enough. And Koepka saw him off at the US PGA. We're going to talk to Paul McGinley, who wasn't on 11 Sports over the weekend, so it'll be good to get his thoughts. 53106 is the text number. We're at Off the Ball on Twitter. Will O'Callaghan is here. Hello, Will.
Evening, Joe.
And ladies and gentlemen, exciting times. Kevin Kilbane is back. Oh my goodness. Oh, listen to them, Kev. The people love you.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of you.
Good one.
Whoa.
Good one.
These are live scenes from O'Connell Street. Big screen there. Here we are.
JP's a good man, isn't he?
Just back from Russia, Kev. He stayed on for an extra month.
Couldn't get out of the country, Joe.
Yeah, passport came through. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
Good. I'm very good. Very
Nice to have
good.
you with us.
It's great to be back. Great to be back in the studio. Yeah. Seems a bit strange coming back in.
I'm
today,
sure it does, yeah. I just saw on Not to Steal Your Thunder, Will, but 38,000 already for the Liam Miller testimonial. All to see you leave one on Roy Keane.
Is that you think that's going to happen? More the other way around, I would say.
3106. What do we want Kev to do to Roy Keane? A, nutmeg. B, leave one in on him. C, jock him.
Come on. Come on now.
Hey, come on yourself.
No, it's great. I do. And Roy's done great actually because he's done great promoting the game. Actually, he's given a lot of time up actually to go down. Certainly last week, I think it was in the initial announcement, and of course then around moving it to Páirc Uí Chaoimh. So
it was an OTBAM this morning.
Yeah,
you wouldn't wish that on any man.
Well, exactly. Who was he on OTBAM with? Who was on this morning?
Jer owned. There's a bit of golf talk.
Was there?
Yeah.
Don't get me going on the golf. It's a killer over the weekend. Great tournament, and it's just killed off watching it on an iPhone all weekend.
Were you? Could you not just watching a laptop? No,
because I was out. I was having a few drinks, and there was about 8 lads crowded round an iPhone watching it, like going, "Go on, Tiger!" And every time there's a birdie or something, it was like, "Come on!" But anyway, that's for another day, isn't it?
But I presume when they cut to the lovely 11 Sports studio, all was forgiven.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Studio, eh?
You couldn't hear what was being said. Actually, it's probably better.
Do you know what? The two of them, Dom, his second name escapes me now, and Jamie Donaldson did very well.
Did they?
Yeah, under the circumstances. But 38,000 and counting. So I presume that's the 2 stands done, is it?
Great.
All the stand tickets are now gone, just the terraces left.
Okay.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great news, and particularly, so obviously moving it there, that was always going to be a little bit of nervousness around it. Would we be able to sell out the tickets? Because of course Turner's Cross would sell out instantly, really. So delighted, certainly with only going on sale today, so that'll be it. So it's great news, yeah.
Actually crashed the website this morning, such was the demand for it, which I think probably confused a few
people. To see me making a fool of myself, though, I think that's what it would be.
That off you, Ken.
Yeah.
How's your fitness? How's your football fitness?
Football fit. I did a half marathon yesterday. I did the rock and roll run yesterday in Dublin, so I probably wasn't as fit as I thought I would be for that. I was seriously lacking. But
2 months in Russia.
Yeah, that's there you go. That says it in a nutshell. Yeah, there was. I've been on the rip for 2 months, Joe. Let's just leave it as that.
So how long? When's the Liam Miller game on?
It's the 25th of September.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll try and get a bit of five-a-side. I might try and get you out in the next couple of weeks. If we can get you out playing a bit of five-a-side.
Crocked. If anyone, are you looking for a five-a-side game? Do people want to? If people want to get in touch?
I might be able to try and sort out with the lads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So hopefully get a few games. Just get a feel of the ball again. That's basically what I want to do. Just get a bit of a feel of the next week.
Because I think it's important to let you know that anything remotely embarrassing that you do will be replayed repetitively.
I've no doubt about that. Well, all I can do... Do you want me to actually go out and express myself and go and play the game, or do you want me to just play conservatively?
I'll go out and try and not make any mistakes, Kev.
Well, exactly. Well, that's the case, and I'll just sit in front of the back four, or sit in at left back and don't get forward or anything.
Okay, an amazing cause and fantastic. Is any part, are you looking forward to this massively, or are you thinking, oh God, I'm really going to have to up my game here?
I think that was when all around everything, of course we're at Turner's Cross and we're thinking, what would it be, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, whatever we would have had. And then the realisation...
A nice family atmosphere at Turner's Cross.
45,000 at a game, come on. That is when the reality starts to kick in. There's 38,000 sold now, and hopefully it will be a family atmosphere. Plenty of families there just to come down and enjoy the day.
Will you be looking for a left back kind of sly, or do you want to be praising up and down the wing?
I don't know. We could have another one getting involved who I've heard over the weekend as well. I've been in talks. We could have Ian Harty involved, who's not actually been mentioned.
Well, that'll move you into centre midfield.
That could be It could be me and Harty down the left. Get
Duffer?
Duffer free roll. Duffer just go and cause havoc. That's what we do with Duffer. Get him playing off Robbie Keane or wherever it will be. So we've got enough now.
Dublin, is Roy just playing for United or is he doing half and half?
I don't know actually.
Okay.
I don't know.
He's on the United squad.
Yeah, saw that. Dublin in the All-Ireland final again, no surprise there. You were at Monaghan, Tyrone.
I went to the game Monaghan Tyrone yesterday, yeah.
And between scoffing prawn sandwiches and vol au vents, what did you make of the Tyrone performance?
Joe, you let yourself down sometimes, you know that. Do you know what? I thought the way that Tyrone started, I thought there was a real pace to the game, the way that they started the match, and it looked to me like they're going to blow Monaghan away in the first 15-20 minutes or so. But then Monaghan gradually worked their way into the game. I thought they played well, Monaghan. A bit unlucky, really, not to get the draw in the end. But if I'm looking at it overall, I think Tyrone looked the stronger team. They just looked physically a little bit too much for Monaghan. And again, that's my naked eye. I'm totally unexperienced there, but that's what I thought yesterday.
That sounds about right. We'll get less naked eyes of James Horan and Brian McGuigan just after 8 o'clock to give us their analysis on things. We'll also hear from Jack McCaffrey around 10 to 8. Mauro Tarassi was talking to McCaffrey yesterday, who was just phenomenal on Saturday. I don't know if you got any of that, but he's just a Rolls Royce of a player. So we'll bring you that. And then, we'll be talking football. Opening weekend. Man City got what we expected. Liverpool got what we expected. Man United, pretty much same old. It's kind of like stodgy enough. Good for, I think you were saying good for 10 minutes. And then Arsenal, we were curious to see what we get from Arsenal under Unai Emery. And I mean, really, if you hadn't cut to the sideline and you didn't know Arsene Wenger left, you wouldn't have seen anything dramatically different. Yeah,
pretty much the same, wasn't it? And bearing in mind, it's City, the champions, and how good a player, calibre player they've got within that side. But yeah, I just didn't see any real attacking threat from them throughout. I didn't see them trying to cause different problems. Where was there a little plan B involved? Could they have played two up front? Could they have tried something different to try to get Aubameyang into the game? It just never happened for them overall, really. And I actually thought
defensively, did they look more drilled or organised?
Well, they played a little bit open. Certainly when they were in possession, certainly didn't work with Petr Cech playing the way he did. Petr Cech actually made 2 or 3 very good saves actually in the game.
Could have got one of the great own goals.
Yeah, it would have been the great own goal. It would have been. But he just didn't look like he was. I think in general, Arsenal to me looked pretty much the same. Ozil's a problem. I do think that going forward for them, I think it's going to continue to be a problem for them. And it's how Unai Emery tries to transform that team to play the way that he's going to play going forward, and that's a tough task, that one, for him. Yeah,
no, it's true. We'll talk more. I'll get more of your thoughts on the opening weekend after the news round. Kev's looking fresh, lads. Pre-season's obviously gone well. I see he survived the summer transfer window. Will he kiss his off-the-ball badge as a show of loyalty from Terry and Leaslip? That's a great idea, Terry. Anonymous Runner writes in, Kev, welcome back. Wasn't happy with my half marathon time yesterday. Then I saw it was the same time as you. Cheered me up no end. Only started running last year.
Fair play to him. Good. Yeah, I wasn't too happy with mine actually.
What'd you do? Hour 50, you were saying?
Hour 50 odd, yeah. It was.
Is that poor for half marathon? Yeah.
I stick to decent. It's decent. If you're doing under 2 hours, you're doing okay, I suppose, as well. But I'm half an hour off me. I'm half an hour off my best, really.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So you've been doing very little training, is the
yeah, essentially, really.
I couldn't get out of my house yesterday with that bloody marathon, by the way.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Joe, it's about the community. It's bringing people together.
Thrilled, but just let residents out of their own road.
Well, that's it, Joe. If you live in the city, that's what you got to expect.
But that was what a policeman told me. That's literally what he said to me. If you live in the city, you got to expect that's going to happen. I was like, no, you don't. I live on the road.
I'd say it was a great day. Great day. I think it was over 8,000 as well. Took part in it yesterday, and I don't know. You've never done one, Joe. You're going to have to get out and do a marathon of some sort, half marathon of something.
Not built for distance,
Joe. I'm telling you now, the atmosphere and the spirit that's amongst the runners. Of course, you've got the elite runners. I got talking to the winner actually yesterday. 68 minutes, Joe.
Yeah. No, look, I felt the spirit as I drove by on my motorbike.
No, you didn't, Joe.
Cursing every single one of them.
You're cold. You're a cold man. I know that. But in general, it was a great day. Really
life-affirming day.
Great day, brilliant day actually. Yeah, started and finished in Kilbane on my doorstep, so I was quite happy as well.
Yeah, I'm thrilled for you. 68 minutes, that's a serious time, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, the second half was ridiculously tough. Up through Chapel Lizard, up the hill by the side of the park.
Oh yeah,
unbelievably tough. Honestly, really was.
No, it's tough.
So for him to do 68 of that, I think it was about 3 or 4 minutes outside his best, because he just said that the second half of that marathon is just too tough. But unbelievable time, 68 minutes. Yeah,
very good. Maria has written in all capital letters, "Thank God Kilbane is back."
I don't know about that, Joe.
Well, Maria's dead sure. All caps, Kev. So
I walked in today. The welcome I got from JP was, "Kev, you look like you put a bit of weight on." That was the welcome I got from JP.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
About right. Yeah.
So it's a bit harsh, I thought, but anyway.
JP's clarified that. He said timber.
Timber, actually, yeah, that's it, yeah.
The Newsround is brought to you this evening with Screwfix.ie, championing the trade with a choice of over 20,000 quality trade products. And Will, you're starting with some further news on the funding that Shane Ross announced last week to gasps from the Irish hockey team.
Yeah, well, it's worked out quite well for the hockey team. It's a big funding boost for them ahead of their qualification campaigns for the Tokyo Olympics. The Irish men's and women's teams are the main beneficiaries of the new €1.5 million fund for high-performance athletes. They're set to receive 1/3 of it, 500,000 of that total. In all, 17 bodies will receive money from the pot announced last week by the Minister for Sport, Shane Ross, on the homecoming for the hockey team. With Horse Sport Ireland and the Olympic Council both allocated 175,000 each. They're some of the other big winners. 100,000 is going to Paralympics Ireland ahead of the 2020 Games in Tokyo as well. As we mentioned top of the show, 38,000 tickets have now been sold for next month's Lee Miller tribute match. Just before we came on air, it was confirmed that all the stand tickets are now gone. The game is between Celtic, Manchester United and Republic of Ireland legends, September the 25th. It's a Tuesday afternoon at Porky Queeve. Miller's former teammate Roy Keane was a guest on this morning's OTBAM, and he's thanked the GA for making Cork's county ground available for the fundraiser.
Celebrate the fact it's on the park. I think is a real bonus, just so hopefully we can get 40,000 odd in there. It was great at the start when it was down the Turner's Cross, but the tickets it was a great reaction to the tickets, and we just hope that'll be the case down the park. And I know again people were upset about it and very emotional about it, and people vented their frustrations, I suppose, with the GA. But listen, we got there eventually, and the GA deserve credit for that. And we just hope now that the people who were upset that they couldn't get tickets will now buy a ticket and turn up and as I said, celebrate Liam's career.
Yeah, that was Keane on OTBAM this morning, so I guess his wish has been fulfilled. I mean, if you'd offered him then 38,000 to be sold by 7 o'clock this evening, he'd have grabbed your hand by the sounds of things, so it's super stuff. We'll play you, he was on for kind of 15 minutes territory. We'll play you a good chunk of what Roy was saying on OTBAM on the football show. Also got Pat Nevin on the way after 9 as well.
Chelsea midfielder Willian, meanwhile, says no chance he'd still be at the club if Antonio Conte was still there. The Brazilian international has revealed he turned down a summer move to Barcelona in order to remain at Stamford Bridge after they appointed Maurizio Sarri as Conte's successor. Willian, who played at the weekend in their victory at Huddersfield, says he'll only leave the Blues if they choose to sell him between now and August the 31st. Preston North End manager Alex Neil, meanwhile, says Republic of Ireland winger Daryl Horgan asked to leave the club in order to boost his international chances. The 26-year-old joined the SPL side Hibernian on a 3-year contract at the weekend. Neil says he was unable to promise Horgan enough game time after he asked about it because he needs to impress the Ireland boss Martin O'Neill.
How had he been doing at Preston of late?
In and out last season. First season when he went in under Simon Grayson, did excellent. He did excellently. He from January to end of the season, he was making impact off the bench, certainly starting games as well. And obviously Simon Grayson moved on, Alex Neil come on, so he was a bit part player last year really. The odd substitute appearance, I don't know how many he did start last year, very few. Certainly the cup games he may have started a couple, but pre-season he was looking good. Scored a really good goal against Oldham. I think it was the last game for Preston in pre-season. I thought, here we go, he's going to make a good impact this season. And for whatever reason then he's had that chat with Alex Neil. Good move for him. I think he's going to play games. But I'm slightly disappointed because I thought even when I've seen him come off the bench at Preston, I thought he'd make an impact, but just not to be for him really.
Would he have been Alex Neil's cup of tea? Is Neil an attacking type coach or a bit more defensive?
Yeah, he's very much an organised coach, Joe. Yeah. What does that suggest? But I think in general there's good energy in Preston's team now. Alan Brown scored the first weekend of the season. I was pleased to see him getting off the mark against QPR. He sometimes plays with like a false 9, so it's basically very much a workman-like team, defensively structured really to stop side scoring against them. If they win games, it's 1-0 as they did against QPR, so they
maybe not the most
go,
natural fit then.
Exactly, very rarely go on and win 2 and 3-0.
Do you know the way things go with managers, if you're not getting in, say you're Horgan, it's not the way to look at the game, I presume, but he's still only 26. There's a pretty good chance that the manager will get the sack within a year or 2 tops. I mean, what's the current run at the moment? 13 months?
Yeah, at that level as well, yeah. He's been in there, a year or two now. Simon Grayson was been there probably 4 or 5 years actually, which is unusual at that level. You see the turnover, and we talk about the Premier League, but outside the Premier League it's even more because desperate to get into the Premier League.
Quick fix.
Yeah,
get in,
exactly.
get the money. Yeah. So Eddie Howe is now the longest serving in the Premier League.
Yeah,
He's been there 6 years. 6
amazing.
years is a decent stint, but I mean,
no, it's nothing
in comparison to previous generations. Where are we going next, Will?
Well, we're waiting for the draw for the next round of the FAI Cup, the Hullers Cork City, among 16 teams awaiting that in the next few minutes. Non-league side still left CIE Ranch after they won the public transport battle against Dublin Bus at the weekend. Maynooth University Town among those as well, waiting to discover their next opponents. Derry City also take their place in the draw following a record victory against Blarney United. They won by 12 goals to 2 on Saturday night.
Text message in wondering what boots Kilbane's wearing at the park. This person saying that they're partial to the new Predators, which I have to admit, I thought it looked very good.
Oh, they go, I might have to get some new boots, mightn't I?
Well, I think you will have to get some new boots. What boots do you still have?
You still got me boots from when I was playing 6, 7 years ago, whatever it is, yeah. Got some Umbros.
Umbro,
yeah. I might have to. An
Umbro man isn't going to convert to Preds, is he?
I was more of a Nike man through my career as well. I wore Nike boots, throughout my career.
Wouldn't be a fan of that.
But you're Beckham, aren't you? You love Beckham, so you can imagine Joe getting every single pair of boots that David Beckham had.
Passers wear Adidas. Little speedsters wear Nikes. That's how it tends to work.
Where do I fit into that then?
I think you should stick to the Umbros.
Dublin's Jack McCaffrey, meanwhile, says they value each and every medal that they win. Jim Gavin's side are preparing for their 4th successive All-Ireland final after Saturday's 9-point win over Galway. McCaffrey's also been speaking to Maura Thrasney Ceallaigh about their style of play ahead of the upcoming All-Ireland decider against Tyrone next month.
Second half, when I was watching it, there were times when I could see Dublin players getting into position, and if they wanted to, they could have boosted on the gas and gone and done something, but it just felt a little bit that you're very systematic in your play, which is great. It's a great achievement, but I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I just noticed it.
Okay. I think it's probably a bit easier to sit here and say that guy should just run the pitch ahead than actually doing it. It was quite a tough physical game on the weekend, and I tell you, there were some sore bodies after it. So there's probably a bit of that. Like, the game is played at such a high pace and such an intensity that you kind of have to conserve energy when the chance comes available. And the other thing is that scoring chances can, in a lot of games are few and far between, so you want to make sure that the right person is taking a shot as opposed to someone like me just kicking the ball from 50 yards, which rarely ends well. But there are some lads on our team who in that situation would shoot because they can, and I'd probably take a man on a bit quicker than some other lads, and everyone has their strengths, and you just kind of, I suppose we're experienced enough now to know that we have to play to our strengths, and I don't really know. I can't defend things too much. Like, I think we're going about our business the right way.
Yeah, they sure are. 124, and it was just undramatic as 124 scorelines go, just picking off points. He was sublime as well. I mean, to come back from a cruise ship and doesn't seem to have lost any pace whatsoever. An amateur player, juggling a busy career as well. Really big achievement. He was fantastic. So it's a grim thing to throw out there, but it kind of feels like this is going to be Dublin's, and I hate to use this word, easiest All-Ireland of the last number of years. I mean, Mayo just could match them in those one-off games, but it does feel... And
They're hoping that one-off. I mean, I think that even saving the Mayo games over the last few years, they've not gone on and blown teams away, have they? So the hope is that Tyrone can make it competitive, and hopefully that'll be the case.
Hopefully, but I remember talking to Billy Joe Patton at the start of the year and wondering, particularly when Mayo, we were having this conversation when Mayo were in a bad place, and we were saying, how's this shaping up really? And he was saying, look, to be honest, it feels like Dublin are 6-7 points better than every other team in the country, and here we are now heading into September, and it doesn't really feel like it's changed all that much.
Yeah, and I think we probably expected Tyrone to be quite close to them last year, and Dublin eased through that semi-final. I don't think Tyrone are that much better in the 12 months since. Obviously, it's a great achievement for them to get to the final. Considering they lost their first round game in Ulster, to have to go the longest possible route back round to a final is a huge achievement.
Still a final, that's the thing. It's still a final, and it's still the biggest, from what Dublin have achieved and how good they actually are, yes, but it's still a final. That little bit of nervousness could be around, that bit of tension, and Tyrone could lift the game, have the best day ever, and who knows? You're optimistic when you say that, but it could happen.
To be fair, and we'll play it in the 8 o'clock chat with James Horner and Brian McGuigan. Even Mickey Hart said in his post-match interview with Maura Thrasney, look, we have to pretty much hit our max level, and they have to be a bit below par. that's kind of the scenario here. So Mickey Hart was realistic enough as well. So that's kind of where we are. I guess the nerves thing may kick in. 4 in a row is such a historic thing in GAA.
Yeah.
You know, you're joining Kerry, you're joining history, and then it's a chance at 5.
Yeah.
It's big. It's really big. So maybe somebody says Puma Kings all day long, Kev. That's Larry and Cork. I never saw Puma Kings as soccer football boots. Really, they were GAA. They were GAA. They always thought they were
more so when
GAA
I was
boots.
a kid, around about 13, 14, when I was just starting to develop. Puma Kings came in, and that's when they started to become the boot at the time.
Yeah.
But I never wore
Died
them.
away quickly.
Never had them.
Ryan Giggs wore them initially when he started.
Yeah, I think it's right, yeah.
Died away. Kev, in these exhibition games, is there any point wearing shin pads? Can you leave them at home, or will you be keeping an eye out for certain players?
Well, do you know what it's like? The refs will make sure. I never trained in shin pads now. Some managers actually make players train in shin pads day to day. I never used to wear them. I didn't like wearing shin pads in training. But it's an official game, I suppose, isn't it? So we'll probably have to. I don't even have any. I don't have any shin pads. So
Well, Kieran, who sent that text in, adds that age won't have improved the tackle timing of skulls. We'd love nothing more than to chop you down.
Yeah.
Long, rangy, long-limbed, marathon running Kevin Kilbane.
I felt that
snap.
before. I felt it from him before, actually. But I would imagine he'd be just timing those tackles 1 or 2 seconds too late.
Did you feel Scholes could have timed the tackles better and just thought, I'll take you down?
No, one time Paul Scholes basically just kicked me up the arse. He just kicked me up the arse.
All right.
Honestly, he just tried to disclaim me. He got sent off.
Was the ball there?
It was past him, and he just literally just launched me, and it was just funny because he was just way off it. It was at Goodison Park one night, and he just absolutely smashed me. He just tried to. I think he was actually trying to kick me in the balls, but he just tried to just launch me. And anyway, he got sent off.
Did he? Yeah, I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, he got sent
Is
off.
there footage of this on YouTube?
Probably somewhere, I would imagine. Yeah.
We'll try and dig that out. Okay, where are we going to... Oh, Mickey Hart's next.
Yeah, Mickey Hart has been speaking ahead of that final as well, and he feels their early Ulster Championship exit has actually helped them focus on reaching the final. The Red Hand have been crowned Ulster champions 4 times since they last contested an All-Ireland final, and Hart says that forced them to take a different approach this summer.
Being on the qualifier route and having to play those knockout games, we've had a knockout mentality since the 20th of May when Monaghan beat us in the first round. We had no trapdoors, no anything, I suppose, till we got to the Super 8s. We could afford to lose one. But apart from that, it's been do or die day every day we went out. And therefore you get this knockout mentality back into your psyche and saying that every game's important, every bounce of the ball's important.
Yeah, we'll hear more from Mickey Hart when we talk to James Horn and Brian McGuigan. Patrick Burns in touch. We play 5-a-side, a 2-minute walk from your office, Tuesdays midday. You're welcome to join. Although the standard may be a little bit too high for Kev, he says. Come on, Kev. You got to go down and teach these lads something.
He's probably right, though, isn't he?
Wow. When was the last time you played 5-a-side?
We played the odd time when you played in the Wednesday mornings. We play up in...
It's about 18 months ago.
Yeah. No, I've played since then. I've played probably about 6 months ago, I think. I played 5-a-side over the summer, actually, up in the northeast of England, yeah.
And where is your touch? Like just your basic, fizzing a ball 15, 20 yards and touch?
I tell you one thing you do, Ray, when you're not striking a ball constantly every day, it's the strike. You feel as though your groin, your hammies, everything's going to go when you actually launch or strike a ball with
age as well, though.
Well, probably a bit of that, but you're not working the muscles, are you, regularly? So that's why. So just try and keep it simple, side foot passes and things like that, yeah.
And is the quality of your strike and your touch pretty much okay, or does it go?
Touch is okay, but not the strike. No, it's the quality. It was one thing I used to love, like pinging balls, but no, it's probably gone a bit now.
Yeah, okay. And we get it back quick enough?
Don't know. Probably is Gatley made to get on the training and the
listen,
stop playing.
40,000. This thing.
I know, Joe. Don't remind me.
This thing should go out live on TV. Is there TV rights?
Can we stream it?
Listen.
Stream it live and off the ball.
Get a good audience.
I've heard worse ideas. US captain Jim Furyk has confirmed his first 8 members of his team for this year's Ryder Cup. It's coming up in 6 weeks' time. World number 1 Dustin Johnson, the US Open and PGA champion now Brooks Koepka, and Masters champion Patrick Reed, joined by Jordan Spieth, Bubba Watson, Justin Thomas, Webb Simpson and Ricky Fowler. Tiger Woods, who's now up to 26th in the world, bearing in mind not too long ago he was outside the world's top 400. It's after his second place finish at the PGA Championship. He's hoping to be one of Furyk's 2 wildcard picks ahead of the event in 6 weeks' time. Koepka joins a very exclusive looking group who've won the US Open and the PGA Championship in the same season. You've got Gene Sarrazin, Ben Hogan and Jack Nicklaus, who are the only previous players to have done so. From an Irish perspective, Shane Lowry's 12th place finish at Bellerive sees him climb to 139th on the FedEx Cup standings. It gives him a chance of keeping his PGA Tour card for next year. Third week in a row, Lowry's been inside the top 15, Joe. He needs to move up 14 places after the Wyndham Championship, which is the last of the regular season on the PGA Tour in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
If he does that, he keeps his card for next year.
It's a big ask. He's let himself with a big ask, but he's trending in the right direction. He's in good form, and I mean, isn't it a strange thing? He cuts the cord with his caddy. They've been together for so long, had great success, him and Dermot Byrne, and then brother in the bag, and maybe just starts to feel a bit better about things.
Yeah.
It's a strange kind of sport. Brooks Koepka, unbelievably impressive winner.
It was, but Joe, I just can't get my head around how I was watching it on an iPhone. I wanted, seriously, I hope this is not the future. I genuinely hope that, because you know when you're out and you're in a pub or whatever and you're watching a big events and there's, you know, when you get that sense of you're watching an occasion.
Especially when Tiger Woods has 8 birdies.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
We'll talk to Paul McGinley around 8:45 or so if you want to get your questions in. Koepka, in his last 6 majors that he's played, he's won 3 of them.
That's it.
This guy's unbelievable. And he does have a bit of a chip in his shoulder.
Does he, yeah?
That he's not getting any credit. He's kind of ignored. You know, some commentators still even can't pronounce his name. And he's already level with Jordan Spieth.
We take he was injured for 2 of them as well.
Oh,
and he's just back from wrist surgery a few weeks ago.
It's outrageous.
It's the sort of fella, if you saw a picture of him, you generally wouldn't know who he is. That's the thing, isn't it? He's still he's unknown.
Totally, and he senses that. And even I watched his press conference, like the second question was, and could you hear the roars for Tiger? Yeah. You know, because golf is just so obsessed with Tiger and beyond. So we'll talk to Paul McGinley 8:45 or so. I should mention as well, really good show coming up next Thursday at Crow Park. This is quite the lineup. We'll have Aidan O'Shea there. This is August 30th at Crow Park. Aidan O'Shea, Kieran McGeeney, Senan Connell, Cora Staunton, and some more stellar names as well. So if you want to come along to that, offtheball.com/events is where you can register for tickets. So that's going to be in Crow Park not next Thursday, August 30th. So a couple of Thursdays away at this stage, and it should be a really good show. So offtheball.com/events is where you'll get that. That's our news round done for this evening. We're going to chat to Kev a bit more about the Premier League weekend next.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
Thanks to Screwfix.ie, championing the trade with a choice of over 20,000 quality trade products.
Moncrief.
My first job was in London, was like unpacking cobras and venomous scorpions for labs and zoos. And I started taking venomous snakes home, and then I, just had to learn how to milk them on my own. There was everything. There was no